Welcome back. I'm Clint with Pour Your Poison. We are in my kitchen. I'm going to teach you how to make Gluvine or mulled wine tonight. Really easy, a lot of ingredients. What this drink is, it's a traditional German drink made with red wine as a base. Has fruits of your choice. It has some spices, a little bit of water to help add some body when you reduce this. And it was a drink that was directed at the adults in Germany, and they would drink it throughout the winter months to keep warm. Like we drink. That's why we drink, to keep warm. Freezing right now. So we're going to get started. Talk about what you're going to need. You're going to need a pot big enough to cook all of your ingredients in. You're going to need a bottle of red wine. Doesn't necessarily matter the brand. As long as it's not horribly bitter, you should be okay. And think of it this way. If you use a brand of wine that's really, really bitter, you're just going to have to balance it out with a little more sugar. So go something nice and smooth. I mean, you can find really good cheap wine that will work really well for this. We're using 1 cup of water. This is going to help dilute it a little bit, so when it cooks down, you're going to have a lot of flavors. We're using 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Recommend cane sugar, of course. We're going to use cinnamon sticks. We're going to use 1 to 2 cinnamon sticks. You don't want it overpowering with cinnamon flavor. So we're going to use 2 of these. A bay leaf or 2. I'm using 2 bay leaves because I really want a lot of flavor to come out in this. Bay leaves are optional. You don't have to use them if you don't have them in your house. Cloves, the full clove. Not the ground. This will release a little more flavor, and you can extract it when you're done with the actual sitting process and the infusion. So I'm going to use just a handful. It's about 15 cloves. 1/4 cup of honey. This will just add some natural sweetness. 1 star anise. You want to use the whole pod. This will release a lot of the flavor because the pod itself hangs onto a lot of the anise flavor that's in this little bugger. It smells great. Fantastic. So we're going to use 1 of those, and then we're going to use some whole allspice pods. I'm using about 8. You can use more, you can use less, and you can always pull them too if you're tasting too much of the spiciness. So we're also going to use 2 oranges. I have large oranges because I want to give it this really heavy orange flavor. Orange goes great for the fall months, really complements red wine well. And we're also going to use the peel and the juice of 1 lemon. We're going to leave out the rind to eliminate all the bitter flavors. Get the oils from the peel and the juice from the lemon. It'll really help spice this baby up. All right, so what we're going to do to get started, we're going to turn on the heat. We're going to add the water. Now we're going to dissolve the sugar and anything else that can go into this to bring out the flavor. So we're going to start with the sugar. And we're going to add the honey. Use a spatula to get this all out. And we are going to basically stir this until everything is dissolved. Once everything is dissolved in the pot, we're going to add the wine, other ingredients. We're going to let this simmer for a little bit. And it does not take long. It's not a lot of sugar, so it's already almost gone. Now, when you're cooking Gluvine or mulled wine, you never want to heat it to high heats with the wine in it. You'll cook out a lot of the alcohol. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring it up to temperature. You can use high heat until it starts to boil, and then you're going to lower it. Keep it at a simmer just for a little bit. And again, you don't have to let it simmer for too long. This is a process that you can speed up. It can take as long as you want. You can actually let it sit in a crock pot, which is what is traditionally done in Germany to keep it warm, and then you just drink it out of the crock pot as you go. We're not going to do that because we'll drink it all right away. All right, so now that the honey and the sugar is nearly dissolved, we are going to add a full bottle of red wine. And now we're going to add our spices. We're going to throw in 2 bay leaves. We're going to throw in the clove. We're going to throw in 1 star anise, allspice, and we're going to go with 2 cinnamon sticks. And another useful tip with cinnamon, if you're cooking with cinnamon and you're heating it in a liquid, you can always tell when you released all the flavor of the cinnamon. Not all of the flavor, but as much as you want to when the cinnamon stick blooms. Once it blooms, it tends to get a little dry and bitter tasting. So keep an eye on it. Once the cinnamon blooms and opens up and it looks like it's starting to fall apart, pull the pieces out because you've pretty much extracted all the flavor you can. So now we have this heating up. Here, and I'll show you what this looks like. So we have the bay leaves, the spices, the cinnamon, the wine, the water, and the sugar. We're going to let this come to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, we're going to reduce the heat. But in the meantime, waiting for that to happen, we're going to add a little treat. This is totally your call. Actually, a couple of things you can add to this. You can add cardamom pods if you'd like. That'll add a little more flavor. I'm choosing to leave those out. I'm going a little more fall-esque, just strictly spice-driven. What I have here are dried tart cherries. This is actually going to help the seasonal aspect of the Gluvine or the mulled wine. So I have about 1.25 cups of dried cherries. You don't have to add these. You can add other fruits if you want to go a different direction with flavor. I'm going cherries, keeping it dark and rich. So we're going to add the cherries. So in the meantime, I'm going to cut 2 oranges, thin slices, peel and everything. So we're going to cut the caps off. And it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, because this is going to be cooked. But you want fairly thin slices. We'll do this to 2 oranges. Like I said, it'll give it a nice orange flavor. This is kind of what you're looking for. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to drop these right in. So we have a lot of oranges in there. And like I said, you don't have to use that many oranges if you don't want. I'm looking for that really rich flavor. Now, with a lemon, I'm going to take a couple of the peels to get some of the lemon oil. This will give it a little zest with the citrus. And this as well is optional. But if you're using fruit in anything that you make cooking-wise or in cocktails, I highly recommend you clean it so you don't get the pesticides and the waxes on the fruit. Just get all the oils and the citrus. So I have a couple citrus peels in it. Now we're going to cut this in half. We're going to give a little zap of lemon juice. So now that everything's in the pot, we're just going to let this sit. We're going to let it heat up, bring it to a boil. We're going to kill the heat a little bit, let it simmer. Letting it simmer is going to release all the flavors of all the ingredients that's in here, and it's going to pick up this really nice, rich flavor. So we'll show you what happens next. All right, we're back, and the Gluvine is nearly finished. We've let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Like I said, I like to do it a little longer, release all of that flavor, get the really rich spices, the flavor of the orange and the lemon. So, nearly done. We're actually going to kill the heat. It smells fantastic. You get a lot of the aromatics from the wine. You get the cinnamon, you get the clove, you get everything. It's awesome. So, we're going to kill this heat, and I'm going to grab this bowl. You're going to need a strainer for this process. And of course, I'm going to grab my cup right away because I'm going to let you know how it is. We're going to strain this. And again, you want to strain it into a punch bowl. You can strain it into a bowl. You can ladle it out, whatever you have at home. But you want to drink this right away. You don't want to chill it. So we're going to add this to the strainer slowly because it is boiling hot liquid. Make sure you get everything in there so all the liquid drains out. Okay, and what you're left with is the main ingredients. That is where you get your flavor from. We're going to let this drip for a little bit. We don't want to waste any of it. And now the only thing left to do, grab yourself a ladle, grab yourself a cup. And again, be careful you're not burning yourself or anyone else. You're going to ladle this in, and you can garnish this with anything you like. If you're using clear coffee mugs, garnishes will definitely look better. But what you can do is you can cut thin slices of orange peels, place it right on top. Gives it a nice glow. Looks fantastic in the glass. It picks up the color from the wine, so it kind of looks like a blood orange. But this is how you make your basic Gluvine. My own recipe tweaked. I hope you like it. Enjoy it. Try it yourself. Let me know if you have a recipe of your own. You can find us on pouryourpoison.com, Pour Your Poison Facebook. Enjoy. That's good.